Situation. You are a committee member of the student union. You are doing a research for the school magazine about lifestyles of students. The theme of the magazine is to educate students to have healthy lifestyles. To help your research, your teacher had recommended that you your teacher has recommended that you have an interview with students and attend a talk about healthy teenagers. As part of the research, you will interview about schoolmates' habitats. The talk will be divided into two parts. In the first part, a representative and Professor D. Luffy will pro- a representative on In the first part, a representative and Professor D. Luffy will provide some general information, and in the second part, there will be a question and answer session. Part 1. In this part, you will hear a conversation between interviewers and interviewees. You will have 2 minutes to familiarize yourself. With the notes headings for part 1 before the interview begins. At the end of part 1, you will have 3 minutes to tidy up your answers. Part 2. In this part, you will hear the talk given by Professor D. Luffy. You will have 2 minutes to familiarize yourself with the notes heading for part 2 before the talk begins. At the end of part 2, you will have 3 minutes to tidy up your answers. Part 3. In this part, you will hear a question and answer session of the talk. You will have 3 minutes to familiarize yourself with the notes heading for part 3 before the talk continues. At the end of part 3, you will have 5 minutes to tidy up your answers for the whole paper. At the end of part 3, you will have 5 minutes to tidy up your answers for the whole paper.
Hello, I'm Ricky from the Student Union. We are doing our research for the school magazine about lifestyles of students. Would you like to answer some questions?
Go ahead.
First of all, what's your name?
I'm David from 3D.
What would you like to do when you have free time?
Playing games, of course. A new game called Call of Duty Black Ops is coming out.
I can't say I'm also looking forward to this game. But let's finish this research first, shall we?
Oh yes, sorry. I usually play 3 hours a day.
And you like playing video games because of their good atmospheres?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, let me write it down. Other than playing video games, what do you like to do?
I watch TV from 8 to 9 p.m. every night. I'm a big fan of the Discovery program.
How about weekends? What do you do the most on weekends?
Playing board games, especially basketball or watching movie.
Movies should last 1.5 hours. But how long do you play basketball? And why do you like to do this?
For basketball, we play for about 1 hour. I do that just because I like playing with friends and for fun.
Okay, last question. What facilities would you suggest the school to build for students for entertainment?
would like to have more free room and better computer equipment, as most of them are outdated.
Okay, and that's it. Thank you for your participation.
My pleasure.
Excuse me, I'm admin from the student union.
Oh, it's you! How exciting! What can I do for you?
We are doing a research for the school magazine about lifestyles of students.
Oh, great! Let's do it!
What's your name?
I'm Alex from 5B.
What did you like? What do you like to do when you have free time?
Actually, as a Form 5 student, I have to prepare for the public examination, so I usually read books and reviews.
Okay. How long do they take?
2 hours each.
Do you have any other activities such as listening to the music?
Oh yeah, I love it because it makes me feel Oh yeah, I love it because it makes me feel relaxed. I would also I will also surf the net just to search for good music.
You said you have to revise, so I think you have less than half an hour to do that, right? So I think you have less than half an hour. So I think you have less than half an hour to do it, right?
No, I spend one half I spend 1 full hour on each on them.
Whoa, don't you think it's too much?
Well, it's because I also share good music with my friends.
Alright, last question. If you can build something for students to entertain at school, what would you recommend?
I hope we can I hope we can have a bigger music room and library. I think they are too small for me.
Okay, thank you for your participation. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's talk, Healthy Teens. I'm Cyrus Lee from Hong Kong Youth Voice. Today, we are going to talk about different ways to become a healthy teen. We have got a special guest too. Please welcome Professor D. Luffy.
Thank you.
Now, Professor D. Luffy is the Senior Officer for the Health Department. That's the Hong Kong Health Department in full, and he's been working there since November 2002.
Oh, yes. I produced my first report on the Hong Kong teenagers' healthy problems back in 1996. Oh no, in 1997, I think. Yes, July 1997. The report was called Hong Kong Youth Healthy. The report was one of the very few healthy reports in the 90s.
I see. That report was completed over 10 years ago. What about recent events? Do the problem get any better?
Oh, I don't think so. Unfortunately, it just becomes even worse. 係咪讀 voice 嘅對啊 ？Worse, even worse. 重讀啦。Unfortunately, it just becomes even worse 係嘛？仆街。Unfortunately, it just becomes even worse. So in December 2000, I started a scheme called the Healthy Teenagers. Even though I've joined the Healthy Department later, the scheme still goes on. 重讀又頂收啊！要人重讀戇鳩。
你呢度讀唔到咯。
啊得得，我蘇啊嘛。So in December 2000, I started a scheme called the Healthy Teenagers. Even though I joined the Healthy Department later, the scheme still goes on.
Well, that's good to hear.
依咋撚樣？
Well, that's good to hear it. Anyway, could you tell our audience something about that?
Well, we have meetings every first Sunday in each month, and if you want to know the details about it, please visit www.hktht.com.hk.
Alright, so let's talk about how to lead a healthy lifestyle. I heard that doing exercise is the best way to keep healthy. Am I correct, Mr. Professor?
Well, this is partially correct. Besides having a suitable amount of exercise, we also should have a healthy diet and have enough sleep. You may be not around, you may be not aware. You may not You may not be aware of we also what do you You may not be aware of all the ways that You may not be aware of all the ways that poor nutrition and inadequate not enough 得唔得啊？仆街啊！inadequate 啫嘛，adequate。You may not be 點讀啊？aware。You may not be aware of all the ways that poor nutrition and inadequate educate 啫嘛。Not enough 唔得咩？仆街係要咁樣 educate educate 啊？educate 咩？educate not enough sleep 啊，唔撚理佢。You may not be aware of you may not be 再嚟個屌。
唔可以用 not enough 咯，都唔通。Not enough 唔係 adjective 嚟噶嘛。
Insuffisance 得唔得啊？
頂你用翻呢個啦。
adequate 屌，生物好撚煩啊！嗱，錄音嗰陣時擺翻上網。OK， 喂，認真啊。You may not be aware of all the ways that poor nutrition and inadequate sleep can seriously affect you. They may easily lead to obesity and feel tired. On the other hand, you should not have higher stress level, sit too much, and of course, not to smoke, drink, or take drugs.
Oh, I think you mentioned about sitting for too long.
咁撚多嘅in fact, this is not just a lack of exercise. According to屌真係好撚多，做乜咁多啊我？Yeah， 仲yeah Yeah, in fact, this is not just a lack of exercise. According to our reasons 咩呢個點讀啊？survey 啊。According to our recent survey, sitting for too long can have fatal damage to our body. A lot of teenagers sit in front of computer or desk for too long nowadays. When they get older, there will be a lot of problems and this is hard to deal with.
That's incredible. That's incredibly bad. By the way, one of my kids asked me about how to become healthy step by step. Any suggestions, Mr. Diluvi?
Come on, what the fuck? Okay. Then let's look at the slides. Then let's look at the slideshow. This was made during the last meeting of healthy teenagers. First, you have to set a proper timetable. Second, you need to have a proper diet, which should always contain fruit and vegetables. And they can be even better with different colors. Third, reduce stress, of course, and listening to music, watching a movie, talking with friends, whatever you like. And at last, keep it up and that's it. 你個啊 And at last, keep it up and that's it.
Okay, that's all for now. We will see you back in this hall after the break for the question and answer sessions.